Tyler Grant didn't mind working late. In fact, he preferred it. Fewer cars on the road. Less small talk. Just him, the radio, and the soft blue glow of his delivery app lighting up the dark interior of his 2010 Civic. It was a Friday night edging toward midnight, and most people were either out drinking or already in bed. Tyler had just wrapped up a drop-off at an apartment complex downtown when the app pinged him with one last request. The payout was unusually high for such a short distance. $18 to deliver a single order of wings and fries from a diner that usually closed early. The pickup was already marked as complete. All he had to do was bring it to the customer. He hovered his thumb over the decline button for a second. He was tired, but the money was hard to say no to. He hit accept. The address was 10 minutes away, out toward the edge of town, past a stretch of forest that always made his stomach twist a little. The delivery instructions popped up right after. Don't ring the doorbell. Leave food on the back porch. Knock twice, then walk away. Do not look in the windows. Tyler blinked. Weird. But not the weirdest thing he'd seen. People were paranoid. Some customers asked him to sing a certain word so their dogs wouldn't bark. One woman once demanded he spray the bag with Febreze. He brushed it off and started driving. The roads got darker as he left the main drag. Streetlights thinned out. Houses were spaced farther apart, then disappeared altogether. All that remained were trees on either side, and the crunch of leaves scattered across the asphalt under his tires. His GPS told him to turn left. A narrow gravel driveway appeared, half swallowed by weeds. He turned in slowly, headlights bouncing over broken branches and overgrown grass. There was a two-story house buried behind the trees. He pulled up and parked. The house looked tired, paint peeling, shutters hanging loose. But the porch light was on. The bag was already in his passenger seat, still warm. He grabbed it, got out, and followed the stone path around the side of the house, toward the back. There was a small porch, just like the instructions said. A single dim light above the door buzzed with dying yellow energy. Tyler placed the bag gently on the worn wooden boards. Then he paused. He didn't really want to do this next part. But he knocked twice. Silence. No reply. No thank you. Tyler turned to leave. He made it 3 steps before something made him stop. He didn't hear it. He felt it. That unmistakable sensation. Like being watched. Slowly, he turned his head toward the window beside the back door. There was a face. Expressionless. Eyes wide open. Standing completely still in the shadows behind the glass. Tyler's breath caught. But when he blinked, the face was gone. He stood frozen, heart pounding, unsure if he imagined it. Then his phone buzzed. Delivery marked complete. But not by him. Not by his app. But someone else. Inside the house. He got in his car and drove away. Faster than he ever had before. He didn't look back. He should have. Because this was only the beginning. Tyler got home just before 1 a.m. His apartment was small, 1 bedroom, barely enough space for his books and his bed, but it felt safe. Familiar. He dropped his keys into the bowl by the door and stood still for a moment, listening. Silence. Still, something about that delivery stuck to him like a bad dream. He couldn't stop picturing the face. Not angry. Not smiling. Just watching. He shook it off, kicked off his shoes, and sat down on the edge of his bed. His phone was still in his hand. The delivery app was open, and the green checkmark glowed on the screen. Order completed. But when he tapped into the order history, the details didn't look right. The address. The payout. The time. All blank. His last delivery, according to the app, had been the one before that, the apartment downtown. The one he'd actually remembered doing. But there was nothing about the strange house. No log. No receipt. Not even the customer's name. Tyler stared at the screen, confused. Maybe the app had glitched? He opened the support chat. Hi, I just finished a delivery to a house on Willow Lane, but I don't see the order in my history. Can you check? A few seconds passed before someone responded. Hi Tyler. Thanks for reaching out. We've checked your account. Your last delivery was at 11:17 p.m. to 605 Riverton Avenue. There's no record of any delivery to Willow Lane tonight. His stomach dropped a little. He typed again, fingers suddenly cold. What about the customer? Daniels? Another pause. There's no user on our platform by that name. He sat back slowly. No name. No record. No payment. Had someone spoofed the system? Could you even do that? He tried to replay the entire thing in his head. The notification. The address. The weird instructions. But now it felt fuzzy. Almost dreamlike. He remembered the face, but could barely remember the walk back to his car. Maybe he'd been too tired. Maybe it was a scam. Maybe he was overthinking it. He closed the app and tossed the phone on his nightstand. But sleep didn't come easy. Not with that face still hanging in the back of his mind. Not with the way it stared at him, unblinking, like it knew him. At 2:47 a.m., his phone buzzed again. No name. No number. Just a text. You looked. He stared at it in the dark. No part of him felt safe anymore. Tyler didn't reply to the message. He didn't delete it either. He just stared at it until the screen dimmed on its own. Then he turned the phone face down and sat there, unmoving, trying to convince himself it was a prank. Maybe a friend messing with him. Maybe some creep with access to his number. But no one knew about that delivery. He didn't tell anyone. Not even in passing. He didn't sleep that night. By morning, the fog in his mind hadn't lifted. Every part of him wanted to forget the whole thing. Just move on. Do his shift. Act normal. But it itched at him. That address. That road. That face. So he did something he hadn't done since high school. He skipped class. He got in his car and drove. Back toward Willow Lane. The town looked different in daylight. Less sinister. More tired. The kind of place where people let their yards die and tape their windows in the winter instead of replacing them. He reached the gravel road just before noon. There were no delivery instructions this time. No address pulled up on a screen. He had to trust his memory. He turned onto the gravel path. The branches scraped the sides of his car like they remembered him. The overgrown weeds reached higher now. Or maybe he just hadn't noticed them before. Then there it was. The house. But something was off. It wasn't just worn down. It was dead. Boarded windows. The porch light was missing. Front door chained. And the entire yard was sealed behind a rusted chain-link fence, sagging under its own weight. Tyler parked on the side of the road and got out slowly. There was a city notice stapled to the fence. Condemned property. No trespassing. Structure unsafe. Dated over a year ago. He walked the perimeter, heart thudding harder the closer he got. Every step felt like he was walking into a dream that had already happened. A memory that didn't belong to him. Then he found the back porch. The same one. Same broken steps. Same weak boards. Only now, it was littered with dead leaves and chunks of fallen roof. No light. No bag of food. But when he crouched and looked close, there were marks on the wood. 2 faint smudges. Circular. Like something warm had sat there recently. And just above the doorframe, scratched into the wood, barely visible beneath the grime. Don't look in. It hadn't been a note. It had been a warning. His breath caught as something moved inside. Just the slightest shift of shadow behind the gap in the boards. Not enough to see a figure. Just enough to feel it. Watching. He turned and left. This time without looking back. But as he reached his car, his phone buzzed again. A new message. No number. No name. Just 3 words. You came back. Tyler drove straight to the campus library. Not to study. Not to meet anyone. He just couldn't go back to his apartment. Not yet. Not with that message still fresh on his phone. He found a corner desk under a flickering light and opened his laptop. It was quiet, only the distant hum of fluorescent bulbs and the occasional cough from another student. He logged into his delivery driver portal. If the app wasn't showing his last trip, maybe the web version had a deeper log. Nothing. No record of any delivery to Willow Lane. No order placed. No payout issued. It was like the night never happened. But then, a strange thought crossed his mind. What about the GPS? He'd enabled location tracking for insurance reasons. Maybe the raw data was still stored on his phone. He opened his settings and checked the timeline history. At 11:28 p.m. the previous night, the map showed his route in full detail. The city. the turns, the gravel road, and the arrival point, the house, coordinates, time stamp, everything. It was real. He screen captured everything. Every stop. Every second. Then another buzz. His phone lit up on the desk. It wasn't a number. It was a push notification from the delivery app. Customer Eve Daniels has rated your recent delivery. Tyler stared at it, throat dry. He tapped the notification. The app opened to a black screen. No rating. No comment. Just an audio file. A single, 10-second recording. He hit play. At first, just static. Then faint breathing. And then a voice, low, hollow, and close. You weren't supposed to come back. Tyler dropped the phone. It clattered loudly against the desk, drawing glances from nearby students. He picked it up, hands shaking. The app crashed. The file vanished. No history. No notification. Like it never existed. But he heard it. And now the app was acting strange. Glitching. Restarting. Showing flashes of code between menus. And for the briefest second, right before it rebooted again, the customer list loaded. At the top of the screen, above all recent orders, was a single profile image. A grainy black and white face. Staring. Mouth slightly open. Eyes wide. The same face from the window. And beneath the picture, a name. Naughty Daniels. Just one word. Watcher. Tyler didn't go back to class the next day. He barely left the library until sunrise, glued to his laptop, chasing any thread he could find about Watcher, Daniels, or anything remotely similar. Most searches turned up garbage, urban legends, Reddit posts, some creepypasta trash. But just past 3 a.m., buried in an old local news archive, he found something. An article from 2 years ago. Food delivery driver missing after last known drop-off on Willow Lane. He clicked. There was a photo of a guy about Tyler's age, brown hair, quiet smile, named Mason Clark. He'd worked for a different food delivery service at the time. According to the article, Mason accepted a late-night order to a residence outside of town. The address wasn't listed, but the road was. Willow Lane. The article went on to say that Mason never made it home. His car was found on the side of the road, engine cold, doors still open. The delivery bag was missing. Police investigated but found nothing. No signs of struggle. No digital trail of the order ever being placed. Tyler stared at the screen, blood running cold. It was the same story. Down to the missing log in the delivery app. He checked the date. October 14th. Today was October 14th. He pushed his chair back and stood up, chest tightening. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't a bug in the app. Someone, or something, was pulling people in. Using the system. Bending it to reach out through the cracks of normal life. His phone buzzed again. Another message. He looked too. He turned around, scanning the library. Nobody was near him. Nobody even looked up. He sat back down, more determined now. He reopened the archive, digging for more. Eventually, he found a forum link in the comments of the article. Dead thread. But it had screenshots. Blurry ones. A user named DeadSignal23 had posted them. Images of that same house. The porch. The back door. The caption read, "This was where it happened. We found this on the steps." Below was a photo. A cracked phone. And written on the screen in the Note app. "Don't look in the window. Don't knock twice. He's waiting." Tyler's heart pounded as he reached for his phone. It was already open. The Note app glowing. But he hadn't touched it. And there was a message already typed on the screen. Not from him. Just 3 chilling words. "You're next, Tyler." Tyler didn't go home. He couldn't. Not after seeing his name typed into his own phone by something he never touched. Every instinct screamed at him to get out of town, to shut off his phone, to run. But that wouldn't fix it. Whatever this was, it knew him. And he needed to know why. By late morning, he was parked outside the address listed on Mason Clark's missing person file. Not the house on Willow Lane. This was his mother's home, a modest ranch in the suburbs, just 30 minutes from where Tyler lived. He hesitated at the curb. What exactly was he going to say? "Hi, I think your son was taken by something that lives in a condemned house and hijacks food delivery apps? But something told him she'd listen. Because she'd seen it too. He walked up the steps, knocked once. The door creaked open slightly before he could knock again. A woman in her 50s stood there. Thin, tired eyes. She didn't say hello. She just looked at him like she already knew. You're here because of Mason, she said quietly. Tyler swallowed. Yes, ma'am. I think I saw what he saw. Her eyes narrowed. Did you knock twice? He nodded once. She stepped aside and motioned him in without a word. Inside, the house was dim and still. Old photographs lined the walls. Tyler's eyes flicked briefly to a framed picture of Mason at his high school graduation. Same quiet smile. She poured him tea in silence, then sat across from him. I knew someone would come eventually, she said. Every year around this time, someone like you knocks. They're always young. Always drivers. How many? Tyler asked. She stared at him. 3 before you. That I know of. Not all of them made it back. He clenched his hands. What is it? I don't know, she said softly. But it feeds on those who look. It uses curiosity like a hook. It hides behind routine. Behind jobs. Sprouts. It gets into the systems we trust most. She pulled a folded piece of paper from a drawer beside her chair and handed it to him. I kept this from Mason's cloud drive. Last thing he wrote. Tyler unfolded the paper. A hand-scrawled note. It watches through the window. It waits in silence. If you see its face, you belong to it. Tyler looked up. What did you do when you found this? I stopped sleeping, she whispered. And I got rid of everything digital. Phones. Tablets. I went off the grid. Lost track of me. I think. You think. I haven't had a visitor in 3 years. Until you. Tyler stood slowly, heart in his throat. I need to find out what it wants. She gripped his wrist suddenly with surprising strength. No, she said. You don't. It wants you. That's all. He pulled away and turned toward the door. As he reached the front step, his phone buzzed again. No caller ID. A voicemail. He listened, breath held. This time, the voice was different. Raspy. What? Close to the mic. And it only said 2 words. Come home. Tyler didn't remember the drive back to his apartment. He just arrived. The sky had darkened while he was on the road. The air felt heavier. Like it knew something. His building stood exactly as he left it. Quiet, dull, routine. But as he stepped out of the car, his phone buzzed again. Another message. This time, it wasn't a warning. It was a map. A blinking red dot marked his own location. And another dot. Inside his building. Waiting. He stood still for a full minute, the buzzing silence of his engine cooling in the background. Then he walked forward. Up the steps. To the 2nd floor. His door was closed. But the air behind it felt wrong, as if something thick and invisible pressed against it from the other side. He unlocked it. Stepped in. The lights were off, but he hadn't left them that way. The curtains had been drawn. He never closed them. And his phone lit up again in his hand. No number. Just a message. Sit down. His body tensed. But he sat. Right on the edge of the bed, as he had the night of the first delivery. The phone buzzed again. Look at the door. His eyes turned slowly. The bathroom door was cracked open. Pitch black inside. He'd left it open that morning. Fully open. Now, just a sliver. Like someone had closed it halfway from within. He stood. Moved closer. With each step, the air grew colder. Not room temperature cold. But unnatural cold. Like the kind that lives in basements where nothing alive should be. He reached the door. Pushed it open slowly. Nothing. Just the dark. He flicked on the light. Empty. He let out a long, shuddering breath. Then turned around. And stopped. The mirror above his dresser, he could see it now from the angle of the hall. There was something in it. Not behind him. In the mirror. Standing in the reflection. Too tall. Its limbs too long. Head tilted. Mouth open in a silent scream that never moved. And as he stared, his phone buzzed one last time. He didn't look down. He didn't need to, because the message whispered itself in his mind before he even read it. Now you've seen me. Tyler didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the figure from the mirror, mouth agape, neck bent in that sickening angle, as if frozen mid-scream. But it never made a sound. Only watched. He left all the lights on. Checked every room, every closet. Even stood outside his apartment for a while, just breathing in the cold night air, pretending things were normal. They weren't. By morning, he made a decision. He would stop delivering. Delete the app. Change numbers. Throw the phone away if he had to. He wasn't going back to Willow Lane. He wasn't looking again. So he deleted the app. Uninstalled. Gone. It should have been over. But as he scrolled through his phone to check for leftover files, a new icon was there. It hadn't been before. A small, white square. No name. Just an eye. Wide open. Watching. He tapped it. Nothing happened. Just a black screen. White, slow, typing itself on screen. Why are you trying to leave? He powered the phone off. Took the battery out. Left it on the table and walked outside. The sun was too bright. Too clean. It didn't match how he felt. He got in his car and drove to a local repair shop, one that specialized in factory resets. Destroying old data. He handed them the phone and told them he wanted it wiped. Completely. The guy behind the counter looked bored. Until he turned the phone on. Then his brows furrowed. "Dude, what's this?" he asked. Tyler leaned over the counter. The screen wasn't black anymore. It was showing his apartment. From the inside. Tyler's living room, from the ceiling corner. Like a mounted camera feed. The guy stared. "Is this a prank?" Tyler whispered, "That's my place. That's my couch." And then the feed moved. It panned slowly. Searching. And then it zoomed in, onto the front door. The technician dropped the phone. Tyler grabbed it, yanked the battery out again, heart slamming in his chest. The tech looked pale. I don't know what that was. It's not a normal app, man." Tyler nodded. "I know." He left the shop without another word. Got in his car. And sat there, gripping the steering wheel, trying to stop shaking. When he looked up, the passenger seat wasn't empty anymore. There was a delivery bag. His delivery bag. And the receipt stapled to the top? Delivery for Watcher. Tyler didn't touch the bag. Not at first. He stared at it like it was ticking. How did it get there? He hadn't opened the passenger door. Hadn't made a stop. But the delivery bag sat there, perfectly placed, steam still rising from the crease in the top. Like someone, or something, had just set it down. He reached out and pulled the receipt off with trembling fingers. No restaurant name. No price. No items listed. Just a location. 1 Willow Lane. His mouth went dry. He glanced out the window, half expecting to see someone watching. But the lot outside the tech shop was empty. He started the car. The GPS lit up, unprompted. It already had directions loaded. Destination, 1 Willow Lane. No voice. No prompt. Just, ready. He reached for the unit, planning to shut it off. Then paused. What would happen if he didn't go? Was it safer to confront whatever this was? Or would ignoring it only make it worse? He didn't know anymore. So he drove. The city fell behind him. Concrete turned to trees. Then gravel. Then silence. As he neared the end of the winding road, the house came into view again. Still rotted. Still quiet. Still there. But something was off. This time, it felt different. Not darker. Not colder. Awake. He parked but left the engine running. The bag still sat untouched beside him. He glanced at it again. His name was now scrawled across the receipt. Tyler didn't remember seeing it before. He picked up the bag and stepped out. Each crunch of gravel beneath his shoes echoed too loudly. The sky above was overcast, motionless. No wind. No birds. He stepped onto the porch. The boards groaned beneath him. He didn't knock. This time, the door opened on its own. Just a crack. Enough to see the hallway inside. Same yellowed wallpaper. Same warped wood floor. And far at the end of the hall, just like before, stood the mirror. But now he was in it. Only it wasn't a reflection. His own body stood there, motionless, eyes wide, mouth open, as if screaming in silence. He blinked. It was still there, watching him from the inside. The bag in his hand was getting colder. His phone buzzed. No message. Just a new contact added to his list. Yourself. And a single text from it. You've already delivered. Tyler's heart hammered like a drum. The mirror image wasn't moving. Just standing there, staring, but not quite. He tried to speak, but his voice caught. His phone buzzed again. This time, it was a video. He hesitated, then tapped it open. The screen filled with grainy footage. It was his apartment. His reflection in the mirror. But the figure wasn't alone. Behind it something moved. A shadowy shape, blurred and shifting. The figure in the mirror turned its head slowly. And smiled. A twisted, unnatural smile. Tyler dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a loud crack. The mirror in the hallway suddenly cracked, spiderwebbing from one corner. The house groaned like it was breathing. Tyler took a step back. The door slammed shut behind him. The room grew colder. The lights flickered. And in the dimness, he could see it. Standing just beyond the cracked mirror. A tall figure with long limbs, tilted head, and that same open mouth frozen in a silent scream. Tyler ran. He crashed through the hallway. The floorboards shook beneath his feet. He reached the front door and pulled. It wouldn't budge. He tried again, harder. No luck. Behind him, the figure moved closer. A whisper brushed his ear. You belong here. The house wasn't just a place. It was a trap. And Tyler was already caught. Panic clawed at Tyler's chest. He rattled the door handle again, desperate. But the old wood wouldn't give. Behind him, the air grew heavier. The silent figure was closer now. Its head tilted even further, as if to mock him. Tyler spun around and sprinted down the hallway. Every door he tried was locked tight. Windows were boarded up. The house was a cage. His phone buzzed on the floor. He grabbed it. The screen lit up with a new message. One last delivery. Tyler's hands trembled. The delivery bag still clutched in his other hand. He looked inside. Nothing but a single envelope. He opened it carefully. Inside, a note in familiar handwriting. Deliver this to me. Tyler swallowed hard. He looked at the address written below. Your own home. His breath caught. The trap wasn't just here. It followed him. And the only way out was through. Tyler's mind raced as he gripped the envelope. He knew what he had to do. No more running. No more hiding. He had to finish the delivery. He stepped back outside. The sky was darkening. Storm clouds rolled in. The wind picked up, whispering through the trees like voices. Tyler got in his car, hands shaking. He started the engine. The GPS blinked alive. The route was set. He drove through the winding roads, heart pounding with every mile. When he arrived, the house looked different. Not his warm, familiar place. It was cold, empty, silent. He stepped inside. The envelope burned in his pocket. He made his way to the living room. Placed the envelope on the coffee table. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The room grew icy. Tyler spun around. The tall figure was there. Closer than before. Its mouth opened wide in a silent scream. Tyler swallowed his fear. And with trembling hands he said, I'm here. Delivery complete. The figure paused. Then slowly it smiled. The house began to warm. The lights steadied. The silence broke. Tyler's phone buzzed one last time. A simple message. Thank you. Tyler sat down, exhaustion crashing over him. The house felt different, lighter, almost normal. His phone lay silent on the table. No more messages. No more warnings. For the first time in days, he felt a flicker of peace. But something deep inside nagged him. Was it really over? He looked around his living room. Everything was the same. But the mirror. The cracked mirror in the hallway. He stood and approached it cautiously. His reflection stared back. Normal. No twisted figure. No silent scream. Just him. A long breath escaped his lips. Maybe he was free. Or maybe the delivery was only the beginning. Outside, the wind picked up again. A whisper floated through the trees. Next delivery. Days passed. Tyler tried to return to normal life. But the world felt changed. Every sound was sharper. Every shadow longer. His phone stayed silent. No new apps. No new messages. Yet, late at night, when the city slept, Tyler could swear he heard the soft rustle of footsteps outside his window. One night he saw a flicker. A shadow darting just beyond the porch light. He locked the door and pulled the curtains tight. But the feeling never left. Like the watcher had just stepped back. Waiting. Watching. Tyler packed his bag one evening. He knew he couldn't stay. Not after what he'd seen. He left a note for his landlord. Moved into a small motel on the city's edge. He hoped distance would help. But as he settled into the dim room, his phone buzzed. A new message. No sender. Just one word. Delivered. His heart sank. The delivery wasn't over. It never ends. Tyler looked out the window. The streetlights flickered. And in the darkest corner of the parking lot, a figure stood. Silent. Watching. With a mouth open wide in a frozen scream. Tyler knew then. Some deliveries come with a price. And some customers never leave.